Will we see another shootout between the Rams and the Seahawks on Sunday?
This is Locked On Bets, the daily betting show that means business from the Locked On Podcast Network. Hosted by Lee Sterling and Kevin Rogers, they're dropping fearless picks with an inside edge to put money in your pocket. If there's action, they've got the lock. This is where smart bets start. It's Locked On Bets.
Welcome to the Friday edition of Locked On Bets. Kevin Rogers and Lee Sterling of Paramount Sports with you. And as always, we appreciate you making Locked On Bets your first listen of the day here on the Locked On Podcast Network. We'll have a lot on the Rams and the Seahawks coming up here on today's edition. NFC Championship in Seattle coming up on Sunday. If you missed the Patriots-Broncos breakdown, you can find that on our YouTube channel, Locked On Bets, as we went through the side total and several player props on Thursday. So you can check that out. So you can get your full load of the championship games for Sunday in the NFL. And after Sunday, we'll know who's going to the Super Bowl. So very exciting. Also, we have UFC is back in Las Vegas. We're going to have a breakdown of that for UFC 324. But firstly, let us begin with a lock on the total for Seattle and Los Angeles.
Open it, open it, open it. Lee has the key to the lock of the day.
All right, Lee, let's take a look at this total between the Rams and the Seahawks. The last meeting, an absolute shootout, 37-36. Seattle came back to win. Rams, a low-scoring game last week in Chicago in the cold. Don't have that cold in Seattle. So what do you like here with the total?
So sometimes it's easier to look at a total as opposed to the game. I know everyone wants to have the game and pick the winner, but you know, this game may just come down to the last play. It might come down to overtime. So why take a chance and have a result like maybe some of the other games that have been played so far this year between the two teams? First game was 19-17. Second game, 38-37. Rams won the first game. Seattle won the second game. And look at some of the other playoff games that we saw, like the Denver and Buffalo game, ended up coming to overtime. And I just don't want to leave my wager coming down to officials, making a decision here. I think the total is the better way to go. Why? Let's look at the first game. Seattle quarterback ends up throwing 4 interceptions. And I just feel that when you throw 4 interceptions, usually you score absolutely nothing. Still scored 17 points. Rams turned the ball over once. Total of 5 turnovers, 19-17. So that to me is about as low as the total can go in this game. The weather I checked is going to be good. Considering it's Seattle, it's not going to be Miami and 75 degrees, but it's going to be probably low 40s. Looks like very little chance of rain, which is unusual for Seattle. And then in the second game, we had a shootout. There was only 3 turnovers combined in the game and 38-37. I think you have 2 quarterbacks that are good enough, even if they turn the ball over a couple times, to put up some points here. Think about it, 2 of the best receivers in the game here. So, you've got Smith for Seattle, almost unguardable. At one time, they were talking about him maybe winning the MVP. Also on the other side, Puka Nacua. These 2 guys in both games went absolutely wild. I think they combined for over I think it's 500 yards receiving in the 2 games. So they're almost unguardable. The Seattle defense is good, but, great quarterbacks can negate that. And like I said, with the weather here, low title. I mean, this total is really low, 46.5 here. I'm going to go over. Better way to approach this game than trying to pick a winner here. Over 46.5 total points in the Seattle LA Rams game. It's going to be a level 3 lock.
And also, too, Lee, a couple other points going back to last week, that San Francisco, they were beat up. Like they just, they lost George Kittle the week before against the Eagles, and they just didn't have anything offensively, where this Rams team, we didn't even mention Devontae Adams, and he missed the last game against Seattle. In the first game, he had 1 catch, which was a touchdown. So he basically we haven't seen him against Seattle, so we'll see what he can do here this time around. and just a lot of weapons, even though Zach Charbonnet is out for the Seahawks with that torn ACL. You still have Kenneth Walker. So that's a good thing about having a good duo in the backfield. You have somebody else to depend on. And we'll see what Darnold does. Darnold wasn't asked to do a lot last week in San Francisco. Got the opening kickoff return for a touchdown, so that helped. But he really wasn't asked to do a lot. We'll see what he does this week. And again, limited turnovers. Like he's had 6 turnovers against the Rams so far in 2 games this season. So let's transition now into a couple player props. And Lee, this is something new we haven't done. We're actually going to split our 2 hidden gems. Normally, if you do 2, you do them. But now I'm going to have 1, you're going to have 1. So that's the way it's going to work out with our hidden gems.
To find a diamond in the rough, you need to dig a little deeper for those hidden gems.
Look at a couple Rams here. And first, I'm going to go Blake Corum, the former Michigan standout, behind Kyron Williams in that Rams backfield. I'm going to go over 7.5 carries for Blake Corum. The last time these teams played, he had 14 rushing attempts against Seattle in that crazy overtime loss, and that was the most carries he had this season. That was a game that the Rams were leading in the fourth quarter. So as long as the Rams have the lead, I think that Sean McVay will have them run the ball, and both Kyron Williams and Corum will run it. And also in the past 7 games, he's had 8+ carries, and he came up just a bit short against Chicago last week. But I do believe that he will get the opportunities there. And again, this is pretty much predicated on the Rams leading. That if Seattle's winning, then obviously they'll have Stafford throw the ball a lot to get him back in the game. But if the Rams can keep the lead, I think they'll try to keep it on the ground. And Corum, they've had a lot of trust in him this season. He's gotten more opportunities down the stretch. So let's go with Blake Corum over 7.5 carries for our first hidden gem, Lee. So now the second hidden gem, and you're staying on the Rams offense.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Colby Parkinson, the tight end for the Rams. So a lot of people forget this, but he was with the Seattle Seahawks first 4 years of his career. So certainly he's going to be motivated. It wasn't like he got shut out in the first 2 games. He did have 2 catches in both of those games here. And I think Seattle's defense is going to be predicated on trying to stop the running backs and also the 2 wide receivers, and Puka Nacua and Devontae Adams. So when you're trying to stop, so many things, especially in a championship game, these 2 teams know each other in and out. I think the guy is a tight end. Tight end is a position where it's easiest to get open. You can run a 5 and out. You can do a 3-4 yard hook, catch a ball here. Teams are going to be concerned with just moving the chains. They may not go for the big play like they do in the regular season. So with them knowing so much, and Colby Parkinson obviously having some motivation, having played for the Seattle Seahawks, played in this field, so he knows the field, and he'll be ready to go. I think that it's just a game plan situation here, and I think the Rams are going to go to their tight end more than they normally do, and they have one of the best quarterbacks here, doesn't drop many balls. All we need is 3. 2.5 is the total here. So, sometimes those star players, they're right near that number. They put it at 88, 96 yards, and you're waiting for 1 catch. We might get over in the first half here. So, and then also, let's say it goes to overtime. You also get some bonus time there. You can get a catch there. So I think he's going to get this by the end of the third quarter. We're going to go Colby Parkinson here over 2.5 catches. Get me 3 catches, and we cash that ticket. That's going to be another hidden gem for me.
And also, too, Lee, when you look back at some of Matthew Stafford's numbers, obviously Puka Nacua is his top option, but he spreads the ball out. Like, that's one thing you can say about him. He's got a lot of guys that he has trust in. And, I mean, past Nacua and Devontae Adams, that the tight ends, there's so many other guys out there that he's willing to throw to. So that there are other guys that will get an opportunity. And, it kind of works out well that if the Rams fall behind, then, Stafford's going to throw the ball. So we'll see how that all unfolds. Coming up, we're going to shift over to UFC 324. They're back in the Octagon coming up at T-Mobile Arena on Saturday in Vegas. So we're going to break that down. That is straight ahead. You are listening to the Friday edition of Locked On Bets. We are here. We are at the doorstep of the Super Bowl. FanDuel is officially in playoff mode every game day during the NFL playoffs. FanDuel is giving customers even more ways to get in on the action because right now, every NFL playoff game day, FanDuel users get a profit boost pack waiting for them inside the app. Each game day, You'll see a pack loaded with multiple profit boosts you can apply to the bets you like most. Open your profit boost pack first thing on game day and see what boosts you want to apply. You have two big games coming up on Sunday. Patriots, Broncos, followed by Rams, Seahawks. Plenty of opportunities all over the place. Side total, money line, player props, all things you can do in these games. And there'll be a lot of opportunities that you'll have. And the boost, you give more juice on the bets that you already like. Instead of forcing you to bet on something new, you make your picks, then apply your profit boost to go after even bigger payouts while the playoffs get rolling. So visit FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL, and grab your profit boost pack every NFL playoff game day. We continue Locked On Bets here on a Friday. Kevin Rogers and Lee Sterling of Paramount Sports. And we broke down a lot of Rams Seahawks earlier. If you want some picks on Patriots Broncos, you can find that on our YouTube page, Locked On Bets. We did that on Thursday, pretty much concentrated all on that game. So if you're looking for that game, you could find it there. Also, Lee cashed on his short on Thursday, the Dallas Mavericks. They rallied past Golden State. They went outright as a home underdog. So when you want to find some more of those quick hitters, those 1 minute picks, you can find them on our YouTube channel. Just check out the shorts and you'll find Lee with his best bets there. All right, now we go over to the Octagon. Lee loves the Octagon, and they are back at it now. They're in Vegas. It's time now for Bet a Little, Win a Lot.
They say you'll miss 100% of the shots you don't take. So bet a little, win a lot.
After a little bit of a break, Dana White, UFC, it's all back now. 324 T-Mobile Arena in Vegas. And Lee, what are you looking at for Saturday's card?
Well, first of all, you got to know where you can find it. And not on ESPN anymore. In the data agreement, you're going to see it on Paramount. So hopefully you have the Paramount app. Not as expensive. You don't have to pay for these pay-per-views that with tax were like $80-$90 once a month. So I'm excited about that. I think it's going to help them. I mean, they had really struggled last year. I think they were, if they weren't losing viewers, they certainly weren't gaining many with all the pay-per-views. They had some lackluster cards, but boy, they coming out of the gate swinging here. Two of my three favorite fighters. It's Justin, the highlight Gaethje. He is 26-5. I think it's like 37 years old and been around. He's one of these guys, loves to let the fist go. And he's going to be fighting Paddy, the Batty Pimblett. And he is 23-3. And he hails from, it might be Liverpool. I know it's somewhere in England, either London or Liverpool, but might be Liverpool. Very popular fighter in Europe. And like I said, these are two of my top three guys here, besides Sean O'Malley, who's also on this card. Now, what's interesting about this fight, I always like to estimate what I think the line's going to be. And I thought this line was going to be Paddy Pimblett minus 120, maybe even pick them either way, where you had to lay 110 either way. But how do they open it? They've opened it, Paddy the Batty Pimblett, as an over 200 favorite, and it's grown to minus 235. The take back, if you like Justin Gaethje, is plus 195. So if they just stay in the center of the ring and they let the fist go, I do believe that Justin Gaethje has a huge edge. He is one of the best power punchers and volume punchers you'll ever see. I think he wins the fight easy. Also, one of the best kickers, strikers with his feet. That lower calf kick is dangerous. On the other side, Paddy Pimblett, pretty strong, doing everything. But his strength is if he can get you down to a submission. And if that happens, he has a chance to do it. And that's probably why he's the favorite. And he's also younger. And Gaethje has lost one of his last two fights. Pimblett, been on a roll. I think he's won, something like maybe it's like 7, 8, 10 straight fights. But he's been featured in fighting a lot of guys that were never going to be anything, or, in my opinion, who are tomato cans, way past their prime here. Gaethje's fought way better fighters, not even close here. So what you usually have is you have a fighter like Pimblett coming up, and they want to see if he's going to be able to take the fighter that has been at the mountaintop, been a champion, and they're hoping for they'd like to see the UFC obviously a very exciting fight here for 5 rounds. And I don't know if it's going 5 rounds, but I think the line is off here. I'm going to take here Justin the highlight Gaethje here plus 195. It's going to be my bet a little, win a whole lot in the feature fight, main fight here on the card. And it now starts, like I said, no more pay-per-view, but it starts at 9 o'clock, the card. So I'm guessing about 11:15, 11:30, this fight will start instead of the usual 1:15, 1:30 in the morning.
All right, so looking forward to that coming up on Saturday back in the Octagon. And Lee, you have some good deals coming up for Paramount Sports, player props you've been red hot with. So tell everyone what's that all about.
Yep, player props for both championship games, 10 player props, plus we added a bonus player prop, $25. You're thinking 197, 97, $50. Nope, $25. You heard me correct. Total of 11, 10 player props and a bonus player prop, just $25. We went 12-2 last weekend. All the championship games that we saw, college football and the 4 divisional games. So got 11 of them for you, just $25. ParamountSports.com. Also the UFC card, 7 selections plus a bonus selection, $47. So both offers are up and available. How do you get it? ParamountSports.com or call 800-400-9741. Start winning today.
And don't forget to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel, Locked On Bets. You can find the Patriots Broncos plays on there. And also you could find the podcast edition on Spotify app, wherever you get it. Just type in Locked On Bets and you'll be all set. For Lee Sterling, I'm Kevin Rogers. Thank you so much for tuning in to today's edition of Locked On Bets. When we talk to you Monday, we're going to always be in the Super Bowl. So looking forward to 2 weeks of that talk, but looking forward to knowing who's going to be in the Super Bowl. Have fun with all of your plays on Sunday. And thanks again for listening to Locked On Bets right here on the Locked On Podcast Network.